Hi everybody, I'm Maggie. Welcome back to Experiments in Crafting. Earlier tonight I streamed a video and we had a little bit of a technical difficulty with image quality, so I thought I would come back on and just show you guys these yarns one more time so that you can really see the detail in them because that video wasn't showing up very clearly. So one of the things that I've noticed just sort of sitting here waiting for that video to process is the wide variety that Lion Brand released. I didn't really take that in when I was ordering the yarn, but they released a lace weight number 1 size yarn, a number 2 fingering weight yarn, a number 3 DK weight yarn, a couple of number 4 yarns. This one's number 4, and a number 5. So that's a huge variety for one big release. So I just was going to go back through these and talk about them a little bit again and show off some of the detail on these yarns. So I'm going to kind of push these off just a little bit to the side here. So I'm going to start here. These are the Amazing Lace yarns. I ordered them in eggplant trellis, and lattice blue. I think they'll be really pretty either separately or together. It might make a really nice fall striped shawl. So this is a 70% acrylic, 30% nylon blend. It's 150 grams and 1,017 yards. And I'll dig the center out. In the other video I said before, it feels very similar to Michael's, has a loops and threads wool-like, has a very similar feel to that. And if I remember correctly, it has a similar fiber content and weight too. So you can see it's a very fine yarn. Looks like it's got a little bit of a halo to it. But like I said, I think it's going to make a really nice fall shawl. So that's the Amazing Lace. We'll go in order of size, sort of, here. This is the Ombre Life. This is the colorway Rush Hour. This is a 50-50 cotton acrylic blend. It's 100 grams. It's 100 grams, 437 yards. This one fades from sort of a dark red pink color to dark gray to light gray. And this is the style of yarn where you hold the 4 strands together and they change one color at a time. So this, a little ways in, they add 1 strand of dark gray and then they replace another strand until it's 4 strands of dark gray, and then they replace 1 strand at a time of the dark gray with light gray until it's 4 strands of light gray. So these are a very popular style of yarn. This is kind of interesting that they chose to sell it in a 100-gram ball. Most of the yarns like this I've seen have 150 grams. So this would let you work a little bit smaller project and still get the full gradient effect. Should make a really nice scarf or a lacy shawl. Because it's that 50-50 cotton acrylic blend, it should be really nice for summer, late spring, early fall type shawls. So there's that one. Let's see. Since we're going in order of weight, sort of. These are number 3 DK weight. And in the other video I had mentioned that I chose this yarn because I want to work up the pineapple poncho by Brianna K Designs. So poncho body will be yellow, and then this little green topper is like the little spikes on the top of the poncho. So this is the Kobu yarn. It is a cotton bamboo yarn. That's a 50-50 blend. So it says 50% cotton, 50% rayon from bamboo. It's very smooth and sort of like shiny feeling. I know that's sort of a hard or sort of a weird description, but it's slippery. And I'm pretty sure that's the rayon that I'm feeling. It doesn't feel like dishcloth cotton. It's not like rough on the fingers. So it feels like a very nice yarn. I can tell in this ball, you can see that it's very loosely spun. So this could be a pretty splitty yarn for working at projects, but it's just something to bear in mind. Usually if I'm working with something splitty, I'm just a little bit more careful and take my time with my stitches so that I don't end up with those little loops that show up if you put your hook in the wrong spot. So that's that. This yarn is the Rapstar. This is also listed as a DK weight, number 3 weight yarn. It's 100 grams, 437 yards. Just based on what I know of yardage versus weight, 437 yards for 100 grams should be closer to a fingering weight. Maybe a heavy fingering weight rather than a DK. So it's probably somewhere between a 2 and a 3. This is an interesting yarn because this is, again, one of the yarns where you hold the strands together. This one looks like it is also 4 strands held together. But I haven't seen very many of these where they're a acrylic wool blend. So this one is a 70-30 acrylic wool blend, which gives it a very different feel than this 50-50 cotton acrylic blend. It feels warmer. It should make for a really interesting shawl because, like I said, I haven't seen these done up with wool before. It does have a little bit of a halo to it, and it feels okay. It may be a little bit rough, and that might just be because I've been handling such soft, slippery yarns. That this one feels a little bit rougher, but it'll be interesting to see how this works up and if it softens up a little bit with blocking. This colorway is Fergie. All of these Rapstar, the Rapstar line are named for female wrappers. So I thought that was kind of a weird thing that Lion Brand chose to do. Moving on to the number 4 weight yarns. This one was the first one that I unboxed out of the package, and it is so soft. It is 100% polyester. It's sort of a chainette style yarn, so it's not really spun together. It sort of looks like it's already been worked into like a knitted up chain. It's really soft and cozy. It would make beautiful, soft, like warm baby items. I think it would probably work fine for sweaters and hats. I may end up using this for a small blanket. I bought 2 of the pink and 2 of the dusty pink. So I think they'll make a nice striped blanket. Unfortunately, one of my balls of dusty pink came with extra dust. It kind of looks like it's been dropped on the floor of the shipping facility or wherever it was produced. It's pretty dirty, so I'll probably just end up working it up and then just washing whatever I make out of it, but unfortunately this one's pretty dirty. So that's those. This one I didn't get in the shipment, but it is also a new yarn from Lion Brand. This is the Lion Brand Cupcake. It is almost identical to the Lion Brand Mandala Baby. It comes in different colors, but it's the same fiber content, same weight, same feel to it, same country of manufacture, everything. I'm pretty sure it's just the same yarn. The Mandala Baby is a Walmart exclusive, so I don't know if they just rebranded it so that they could sell it somewhere else, or at least it was a Walmart exclusive. I'm not sure if that's changed. I think I saw something saying that they were going to start selling it in other places. But this is the color Seabreeze, and this one is Pot of Gold. And you can see, I have some mixed feelings about this line of yarn because all of the colorways seem to have an ugly color thrown in with a bunch of colors that I really like otherwise. So in this case, this Pot of Gold has these bright blues and greens. There's a lighter blue, but then it has this like muddy green brown color just thrown in. And then the same with this Seabreeze. It's got really nice like teal into a coral color, but if you dig into the center of this ball, it's easier to find from this side, there's kind of this like dirty rust color that really doesn't go with the feel of the rest of the yarn. And I've noticed this in basically all of these Cupcake colorways. They have just one ugly color sort of thrown in with them. So just something to bear in mind. At least with this Seabreeze, because it's on the end, I'll probably just make something and not work the very end. This Pot of Gold is going to be trickier because this green-brown color is not at the very end. So, but these do have the nice mandala-style color changes in them, and they do have the speckles that the Mandala Baby had in them. And in this case, they look very intentional. There was some question with the Mandala Baby whether the speckles were an issue or if they were an intentional design feature. But I think with these Cupcake yarn, they're meant to be like sprinkles. There are definitely sections in here that are speckled yarn. So set those. Fiber content on this is 100% acrylic. They're 150 gram balls, 590 yards, and it is saying that they are a DK weight. For the last of the worsted weight yarns, I have this ZZ Twist, and the ZZ Twist is the yarn that I'm probably most excited about in this shipment because it is yarn designed specifically for crocheters. The threads on the yarn are spun the opposite direction of normal yarn. So normal yarn is spun in an S twist, and as you wrap your yarn as a right-handed crocheter, you're spinning against that twist, and so you're untwisting it a little bit, and it is supposed to contribute to making yarns more splitty, losing stitch definition, things like that. And so they have twisted this yarn the other direction, which they call the Z twist. And this yarn is supposed to tighten as you wrap your yarn. And so your stitch, the yarn gets less splitty, and your stitch definition is supposed to get much better. So on top of that, this is just really nice looking yarn. It has really nice, like a really nice, smooth, tightly twisted look to it. I've heard it referred to as high twist, where you really see the twist in the yarn, and I really like that in yarn, as opposed to sort of a roving twist or a single ply, where there isn't much twist to a yarn. So this looks really nice. It sort of looks, the silver really kind of looks like jewelry. It looks like a twisted necklace or something like that. And this is a really, really pretty blue. So I've been happy with, or my initial impressions are really positive for this yarn. It is 100% acrylic. It is a 100 gram ball, and you get 246 yards. And that puts it right in the middle of the worsted weight category. So,
Margo wants to know if that's available in stores.
So somebody's asking if this is available in stores. It should be available in some Joann fabrics. You can check online. I imagine it will become more available as they start sending it out. But it was only available at I live in central Illinois. There were 2 stores in northern Illinois closer to Chicago, which was about 150 miles. So I ordered this online and they had all the colors in stock. Lion Brand also had the colors in stock, but I imagine it will make its way into stores. These yarns, all of these yarns have been released in like the last 4 weeks. So they're pretty new and it takes a little time to work their way out into some of the stores. You can check Joann Fabric's website for stock like around you. And I think you can search up to like 200 miles around you. So that might be worth doing if you don't mind driving a little bit to find a better stocked Joann Fabric. You might be able to get it in store, use a coupon, not pay shipping. The last of these yarns is the Cute as a Button. And it is very, very similar to Bernat Blanket. The biggest difference that I notice is it looks a little bit flat. This yarn looks more like tape rather than like the round chenille style of Bernat Blanket. So I don't know if it's immediately clear, but this chenille is not puffed up on the side. I don't know if that is a product of how flat that they've had to get it to fit in these tight little cakes, and they'll puff up as they're washed and worked. It's really going to be something that I'm just going to have to try and figure out as I work it up. But it came in a lot of cute, bright, baby-friendly colors. So I picked 3 balls of the same color. I'm probably going to make a small baby blanket or something like that. I've got a handful of friends who are expecting babies. So I like to have small gifts on hand. So I'm not rushing at the last minute. And then this is a number 5 bulky weight yarn. It's a 100-gram ball. You get 103 yards. If this truly does work up a bit flatter and a little bit less bulky than the Bernat Blanket yarn, it might be better for clothing or, you know, hats, sweaters, stuff like that. The Bernat Blanket yarn is so bulky that it's kind of hard to make anything but blankets out of because it just doesn't flex and work right. I've tried making a hat out of it and it was too much because I made it baby size, but it was so big on the baby's head that it really just didn't work out. So hopefully that showed up a little bit better quality and you could see a little bit more detail on these yarns. I'm really excited to work some of these up. So stay tuned for those videos and let me know if you've got any questions about any of these yarns or suggestions on projects or anything like that down in the comments. Have a good night.